You have never done anything on your own. You've never done anything all by yourself. They say, I built that IKEA bed all by myself. Nah, there was somebody there to cut the wood and paint the wood and throw the little sprockets in the bag for you. I put myself through college. Somebody had to grade your papers. Well, what about sleep? Sleep is an entirely physiological function that depends entirely on me. What do you sleep on? And you better not say an IKEA bed. I don't care what it is you think you've done on your own. You haven't done anything without, at the very least, the echoes of someone else's labor there. Somebody else's work, somebody else's presence is always there. I'm not saying this to say that your work isn't important or your work isn't valuable. I'm just saying this to say that you affect others and others affect you. There's an interdependency there. And I think it's high time we really start considering how me and us interact. How does the me and the us interact? Because we got to reconcile that way before we can even get to us and them. You are watching the 10th episode of the For the Proletariat podcast. I am your host, Super Solid. Let's get into some shit. For the proletariat. For the proletariat. For the proletariat. For the proletariat. Someone at work asked me if I was a handyman, and I said, no, I'm a husband, which is like a handyman, but shittier. That's just a true, it's a platitude, but it's true. Argue with your mammy. That's just true. I am officially challenging Tyler Perry to mutual combat. Let's watch some Tyler Perry shit. Oh, listen, it's no secret that I don't like Tyler Perry at all. I don't like Tyler Perry at all. I don't like him, and I want to fight him. And my main complaint is that Brody, he don't. I got to be honest with you. I don't really like Tyler Perry because he refuses to let anybody else do any writing, and it seems like he just really gets off on just punishing the shit out of black women. Look, listen, this last movie, Straw, he threw everything he could throw at this black woman. And I knew as soon as I seen Taraji P. Henson, this was about to be a movie about a black woman who was exhausted. Because every time I see the combination, okay, I see the combination, Tyler Perry, Taraji P. Henson, and Tyler Perry adjacent motherfuckers. Taraji P. Henson is exhausted. Taraji P. Henson is exhausted every time. So But I stumbled across this on TikTok. I thought this shit was hilarious. Watch this. Watch this shit.
Oh my God. Oh no. You bitch. Oh my God. You bitch. Oh my God. Oh my God.
She said, "You bitch." The funniest shit in the world. For those of you, I'm gonna ruin it. I'm gonna spoil it because you should not be independently watching Tyler Perry in the first place. That shouldn't even be happening. That shouldn't even be taking place. So it's gonna get spoiled. The little girl was dead the whole time. The little girl was dead the whole time. There you go. Now you can save yourself. So they had Taraji P. Henson suffer having her baby taken by a CPS, getting evicted, worrying about getting her daughter her medicine that was thrown out in the rain, getting robbed, killing 2 people, being accused of robbing the bank. Everybody thinks she robbing the bank, treating her like she robbing the bank. She keep telling people she not robbing the bank. She just trying to cash her check to keep acting like she robbing the bank, even though she is blatantly telling them she's not robbing the bank. She's trying to cash her check. She got ran off the road by a racist police officer. The racist police officer told her that he was going to find a legal way to take her life. Tyler Perry he threw everything he could throw at this black woman. And I think he thinks he's doing something. He's not. It's just black woman trauma. It's just trauma. It's just trauma. That's all it is. I hate it. Hate it.
Listen, she'll tell you she's the branch manager. Tell my mama that I didn't mean to do this. What? She died. She had a seizure last night.
He's like, this is the fact. White people finding out the twist.
Stop. You know I have to get her medicine. Oh God, Janaya. Just get her the pen, I promise you. Nicola said she'll tell you she's the branch manager. Tell my mama that I didn't mean to do this. What? She died. She had a seizure last night. We took her to the hospital.
Listen, it's the fact that white people are. It's very odd because we watching the shit, and we kind of know. Like I knew, low key, I kind of knew, right? But we're kind of used to what we're gonna get from Emmett Perry Jr. Right? We're used to what we're gonna get. We are kind of used to getting what we get from Emmett Perry Jr. So we're kind of prepared for the bullshit. I mean, now these other Bamas, like white folks, and let's not get it twisted. White people been watching Tyler Perry. That's been happening. You know what I mean? That's not new. That's not new. White people been watching Tyler Perry. They've been watching Tyler Perry. I just think it's a fun little solidarity with white people. It's good to know that we're not the only ones being tortured with this bullshit, I think. But stop, Tyler Perry. Hire young black writers. Hire them, Tyler Perry, or just stop writing altogether. Or run fade. That's what I need, Emmett. That's what I need, baby. Okay, vocabulary time. Today we're going to talk about organic solidarity. Organic solidarity is the cohesion in society that is born of interdependence. Basically, some of us have salt, some of us have pepper, some of us have garlic, and we all depend on each other to add an ingredient so that we have a whole recipe. Y'all hear me talk a lot about structural functionalism, and you can thank Emil Durkheim for that, as well as the idea of organic solidarity. Durkheim also talked about mechanical solidarity, where cohesion is reached because of a collective consciousness, right? Everybody got the same beliefs and the same necessities, and they need to go through the same traditions. They got the same norms, right? And so, of course, they're going to be in solidarity because there's no conflict. There's no tension there, right? Everybody knows what to do and they move how they move, right? That's for pre-modern times. That's for a homogenous society. Where organic solidarity is seen in modern society like we have today, where we don't all have the same religion, we don't all have the same traditions, the same cultural markers. And so we must reach solidarity a different way. I am suggesting that solidarity is absolutely necessary and that it must be reached through an understanding that us is stronger than me. That doesn't mean you forego me. That doesn't mean you abandon me, or you can still get to be me. You still get to be I. You still get to be one and special and a snowflake. In fact, I encourage that because we need a more diverse group of people to make a cooler us. Solidarity here is established on the basis of us needing each other. Zombies are terrifying because of hordes. A single zombie is dangerous, but so is a single Floridian. And I'm not terrified of either one. One me, one zombie, no problem. But one me, 46 zombies, big problem. Even if I'm well trained and have a pew-pew or a tank, one me, 46 zombies, especially zombies who know how to open the hatch, big problem. Unrelated, a sheriff in Florida threatened to unalive protesters.
If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest.
If you block an intersection, you're going to jail. That's what he said. He said you're going to go to jail for blocking the intersection. What you going to jail for a pedestrian violation? Why are you going to jail? Why aren't you just getting a ticket and then being sent to, okay, whatever.
You're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail.
What you mean run you down? It's a song called I Saw You and Him Walking in the Rain. And the dude say, almost run y'all down, Rambo style. Almost pulled out the jammy and flat blast both of y'all. Here, listen, this is what I need to, what do you mean run you down? This is just really violent language.
If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street.
What you mean? Y'all got so many vehicular manslaughters. What do you mean? Now, if I'm a Florida resident and I'm one of these kadunkachuds and I'm like, yuck, I don't like protesters. I don't like brown people and illegal aliens. And I don't like the rights of the BLMs. And I'm going to run them over, right? I want to run them over because that's a funny joke, I think. Remember in 2017 in Charlottesville, North Carolina, when it was suggested on message boards over and over again, on Discord and on 4chan over and over again, that protesters should be hit with a car, and then James Fields hit a group of people with a car that weren't even blocking the street? and then Heather Heyer lost her life. I should enjoy that shit and think we should do more of it. I am glad that this sheriff will find me innocent when I do that. You feel me? Like, be more responsible. It's ACAB. It's ACAB, first of all. But second of all, if you're a police chief, if you're a sheriff, you're in a leadership position. And the words you say will have a ripple effect. And you should understand that. But listen to this. This is, you talking about people getting hit by cars as a penalty for obstructing traffic, blocking people from leaving, right? Look at right here. Florida statute. Okay, Florida statutes title with this 23, chapter 316. It is unlawful for any persons to willfully obstruct the free, convenient, and normal use of any public street, highway, or road, impeding, hindering, stifling, retarding, or restraining traffic or passage thereon by standing or approaching motor vehicles thereon, or by endangering the safe movement of vehicles or pedestrians traveling thereon. And any person or persons who violates the provisions of this subsection upon conviction shall be cited for a pedestrian violation, punishable as provided in chapter 318, right? Let's see what chapter 318 says about, okay, I got the person dies. All right, okay, person dies. Let's read what this says. Except as provided in SS all of these doggone things. Any person cited for a violation of chapter 316, we just went over 316, right, is charged with a non-criminal infraction and must be cited for such an infraction and cited to appear before an official. If another person dies as the result of the non-criminal infraction, okay, anybody who violates 316, which is the pedestrian violations, impeding traffic and all that, right? They get charged with non-criminal infraction, all right? They get cited to appear before an official. And if somebody dies as a result of them doing the pedestrian violation, the person cited may be required to perform 120 community service hours. I want to read this again. $15 for all infractions of pedestrian regulations. And he's talking about, no, if you obstruct traffic, you're going to get hit by a car. Bro, what? The worst thing that can happen to you is if you obstruct traffic, and because of your obstruction of traffic, somebody loses their life. The worst thing that can happen to you is you get charged $15 and you have to do 120 hours of community service. And this is why we say ACAB, because you think the sheriff don't know that. The sheriff don't care. He like, nah, somebody gonna run you over with their car. They gonna run you down Rambo style. Man, this is the fascist shit we be talking about. When we say fascism is here, this is exactly what the fuck we mean.
If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and then jail.
If you spit on me, it's my job to be a peacekeeper. You're doing civil unrest. My job is to make sure, as a peacekeeper, as an officer of the law, as an enforcer of the laws, to make sure that the status quo stays intact, which doesn't mean harming you. It means making sure less harm happens. And he's saying, if you spit on us, we're going to beat your ass. We're going to put you in the hospital.
If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital.
Again, it's not the job of the civilly unrested to be nonviolent. It's not your fucking job. I don't care how many people lie to you about it being your job to be nonviolent. It's not your job to be nonviolent. It's their job to quell the civil unrest. It's their job to keep loss of life, limb, and eyesight to a minimum. It's their job to cause less harm, to escalate force, and comply with the rules of engagement.
And jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs.
Remember the last time They were so excited about sicking dogs on protesters. Remember the last time they were so excited about sicking dogs on protesters, bro? Man, miss me with this bullshit. And look at this motherfucker, bro. Oh, you put me and him in the same ring. You put me and this goofy looking in the octagon. What the fuck are we doing?
That we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play.
I don't give a fuck about your posturing. You're talking about law enforcement officers murdering civilians. I don't give a damn what you said the justification of it was. At the end of the day, the job of the police, reportedly, this is why we say ACAB, because this is it in plain view. They tell you they're there to protect and serve. We tell you the police are there to maintain the status quo, to procure human capital, and to protect assets, to protect property, private. And then the man tells you that in order to maintain the status quo, we are going to respond to your civil unrest, no matter what the justification is. It's not your job to kill me. I don't give a fuck. What's going on is your job to de-escalate the situation. That's your fucking job. It is not your job to kill me. Period. Hands down. And ain't nobody running out here with these protests and the protests off by throwing bricks at police. That's not how it happens at all. What happens is you escalate violence, you incite violence with your fucking presence. You try and control crowds, you provoke and instigate, and then the crowds respond. You're telling us right now you plan on abusing power. So I got curious. There are about 23 million Floridians. 23 million people living in Florida. Of those 23 million, there are only about 50,000 law enforcement officers. Now, if you were to take just 10% of the Florida population, that's, 2.3 million protesters, right? You take 10% of the Florida population, we make them protesters. That's 2.3 million protesters. That would equal out to about 46 protesters per police officer. So, whatever. All I'm saying is that one me, 46 zombies, even if I'm well trained, even if I got my favorite pew pew, even if I have a tank, big problem.
For the proletariat, for the proletariat, for the proletariat, for the proletariat.